Hello, everybody. I'm a practicing therapist and a doctoral student of psychology. Today, I want to talk about the one thing that makes an avoidant see you as the one. Now, it is two things in one, but it's one person is a better way to put it. It is basically somebody who can manage their emotions while still pushing up against their barriers. In other words, challenging them. Okay. This is very important. It is a very good combination. It is the most combination of, let's say I'm working with a husband and a wife, and the husband is avoidant, for example. His wife is like this. And he mentions this is why he's there. This is why he married her. This is why he wants to be with her. This is why he's never going to leave her. These are things I have seen in couples calls and even consultation calls that I've had with you guys. And you guys know what I'm talking about. This particular person is ideal for an avoidant, but it's not ideal for their maladaptive side. It's for the side of them that has some version that wants to heal. Every person who has barriers in their life, there's a part of them that wants to remove some of these barriers. And by you being able to make it easy for them, you're managing your emotions, you're not triggering them, but you still challenge them, perfect combination. And this is usually the person they commit to, okay? And so, self-declaration. A partner that conveys a desire for a meaningful relationship throughout, not just serious moments. This is really important. And it doesn't people might take it more serious than it is. I'm not trying to say it's like a self-declaration where it's like very prominent and emotional. That kind of will backfire. I'm going to give an example of what it sounds like, because that might make it a little easier. You can say, I always appreciate how we try to communicate with one another, even if we need to pause the conversation for the time being. Working through things is important to me, and I see it's important to you. You had mentioned, I want a meaningful relationship, and I appreciate the progress we're making. So it's not exactly direct, but it is direct about the connection you guys have. And so it allows them to feel safe and allows them to feel like they're doing the work, because you are communicating, I appreciate this. So they're doing the work. You acknowledge they're doing the work, but you also are saying, this is something that's important to me. You're telling them subconsciously and consciously that work is required for relationships, and that's okay. I'm happy with the work you've done. You're doing good. This is really important. And if you are struggling to communicate with your partner, you feel like you guys do love each other, but the communication is not fitting, you can book a consultation call with me. That's pinned in the comments. But if that's not really your means, you can also use my email service where you can email me as many details as you want. I'm the only person that's seeing it. And so that can help as well. And I'll email you back in about 7 days. If you don't see the email, it could be in your spam, because sometimes you guys have mentioned it goes into your spam. So please keep that in mind. Okay. The next one is emotional safety. Okay. It's vital for a partner of an avoidant to create an environment where both of them feel like they can be their authentic selves. You want to be your authentic self as well, right? And so it's really important. That means communicating what emotional safety means for you, and they would respond as well. Example, I appreciate your efforts and I see progress. I would like if you could text me a little bit more during the work week, even just a small check-in. How do you feel about that? And they can say, what do you mean by that? You can say, even just text me when you get off of work, or you can say just a small text during your lunch break. And you want to build these things up. What I notice is the first one is texting every day. That's the first step. Just texting good morning. You can ask for that. Then maybe you get that for 6 months, even a year. And then you can say, maybe text me when you get off work. That's the second step. Okay. So now you have both built in. The third one is maybe text me during your lunch break. Then you have all three of these things built in for your work week. This is really important because it shows that they can see tangible progress as well. A lot of people don't understand that avoidance, they are uncomfortable with their failure in a relationship. So if they can look back and be like, oh yeah, I used to not text you at all, and now I text you every day, good morning. Wow, I am a good boyfriend. I am a good girlfriend. They feel more motivated. And then now they're texting, let's say after work, when they get off work. Now they look back and they say, oh, wow, I'm really a good girlfriend. I really do care about this guy. I really love this guy. He is the one. It helps them to remove those fears. And now they're seeing even more progress. Now they're texting in the middle of their lunch. Oh, wow, this guy is really important to me. This girl is really important to me. This person is the one that I want to be with. They start seeing that a little more, okay? And it's for them to challenge their own fears. It's really important. It's really important. That's why you want to build this progress up, because they want to see it that way. way. They see it that way and they want to see it that way. The next one is addressing issues before spilling it all over the place and crashing out, or letting it spill over into your conflicts continuously. It's hard for me to explain, so I probably will have to give an example. I'm trying to think of one. Okay. This one is something that came up recently in maybe one of your calls, but I'm not talking about anyone in specific, okay? So this is just an example. Let's say they have their ex-girlfriend or their ex-boyfriend as a contact. That doesn't mean they're texting them, okay? But maybe it's someone in their contact, even though they haven't texted them, they haven't been with them in like years. Some people don't like to delete contacts, and so this is a very common conflict. However, maybe it makes you uncomfortable. And so you might say, it makes me uncomfortable. And they're saying, I don't even text this person. I just don't delete contacts. And you're like, why are you digging your heels in this? Does this mean there's something going on? And there's nothing, okay? But this is an important situation to discuss boundaries. And so this is a little issue. And then at this point, you want to address boundaries or more prominent issues before it spills all over throughout the relationship. And so often when people do not talk about this right away, you build up and then you start thinking they're a cheater and then you start accusing them of cheating even though this isn't happening. And now this whole cheating situation has gotten so big, the relationship has almost become engulfed by this issue. When in actuality, if you had just mentioned boundaries, it may have not been so bad. So you might say, for me personally, I would want you to delete that number. I understand if you find that unreasonable and I'm willing to work on that or find a happy medium, but I would rather you delete it since you told me you don't talk to her. And they could say, okay, I don't feel comfortable doing that. What else can make you feel comfortable? You can say, I at least want you to have more boundaries in general. I noticed that you struggle with this boundary, or I noticed that you still are okay with A, B, and C. These things also make me uncomfortable and they add to my discomfort regarding this situation. What can we do to meet in the middle? Because I'm not feeling comfortable and this situation is making me feel insecure about our relationship at this point. Anything like that can really help. The next one is unattached conversations. You want to have conversations about the relationship's direction without pressure. This could mean you could say something like, I've noticed that we're really improving. What do you think? You can say it at random. You can say, I feel like a good step for us at some point is for us to go on vacation at some point together. Are you okay with that? And they can say yes, they can say no, and then you can pause, put a pin in it, and come back to it later. Or if they do say yes, you'll know, okay, this is working, the system is working. And then you guys do that, and then you do it again, where you might bring up, I feel like we, go on vacation pretty well. Maybe we should talk about moving in together at one point. And you want to have these conversations unattached. They're not when you guys are heated. They're not during just romantic times. They're when you are just being somewhat casual because you don't want pressure. You also want to gauge how they genuinely feel, because maybe at the first point, I don't know, maybe in year 2, you said we should go on vacation together. And they're like, I'm not sure if I'm ready for that. Okay. Now you ask 6 months later and they're like, yeah, that sounds good. Now you can see their progress. You can keep track of it. This is the type of person that avoidants see as the one, because all of these things are built in and you guys can build this into your personality too. I don't think that one person, I think personalities can be flexible. And I don't think there's an issue with changing certain things to make a relationship work. In fact, I think that's how relationships work. They should be changing things as well. In fact, a lot of this is them changing things and you prompting that. But whatever works, I feel like this strategy really works. And this is usually how avoidants see this person as the one. I hope this video is helpful to somebody. Please like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.